I'm your host, Sheldon Alexander, and we are fully into playoff mode. The Stanley Cup playoffs are underway. The NBA second round is into high gear, and the record against the spread on the pod still chugging along. Let's keep things moving to another 2-0 series as the Suns lead their series 2-0 over the Mavs after a 129-109 win on Wednesday night. I'm going to be honest, this is another series I don't see going much past 5 either. I struggle to see it. Game 3 is Friday. I'm on the Suns -1 in that series. And this is going to sound like a hot take, and I don't really mean it to be, but here we are. Luka isn't built to beat a good team in the playoffs. What I mean by that is his style of play, the ISO ball. It's either ISO ball or pick and roll, right? But literally it's the same thing over and over and over again. And you can't do that for 48 minutes versus a good team and then do it 4 times to beat a good team in a playoff series. You need an offense. You need to get some easy baskets at some point. And also he does the same things that everyone ripped James Harden for. He doesn't play defense. And when he doesn't have the ball on offense, he's just standing at the 3-point line. I understand it's rare when he doesn't have the ball, but just standing there, it doesn't do anything. And on top of that, he's not in good enough shape to carry a team like that through the playoffs against a really good team. So you can win in the regular season like that, cool. But against a good team, you need offense. You need to play defense. And Chris Paul down the stretch just cooked Luka every chance he got on that pick and roll. And really, like, this is really the truth of the matter. On offense, the style of play Luka's trying to play, I've only seen LeBron do that. Mm-hmm. That's it. Yeah. Period.
Fair.
Right? Where you're just carrying the team for the whole game. And that was LeBron with that mangled Cavs team that he dragged to the finals. Right. Yeah. Like, come on. Like, I just don't see it happening. I mean, good job. Good effort, Mavs. You'll get one of the games at home, I assume, because you'll just shoot so many threes and they'll go in and cool. But they got no shot in this series.
But that's the thing, right? Like the one game that they're going to get, right? Usually that game 3, we have seen a couple of game 4s. I'm thinking Denver against Golden State, where the game 4, the pride sort of came up there. But I think that last point is the key, right? And you can blame, it's a little bit chicken and the egg, right? Whereas at the injuries, and that's why he's, quote unquote, out of shape because he had to literally stop doing stuff for a week, or is he not in full shape because he's just kind of never in perfect shape, and maybe that's why he gets injured the way that he does, right? That being said, like, that's part of the plan. Like, conserve your energy when we're not running the offense through you, the 3 possessions per game that we're not running the offense through you, and conserve your energy on defense. And that's the only way that the Mavericks are going to win. And they threw the kitchen sink at the Suns last night, and we're competitive for 3 quarters. Mm-hmm. And then of course it all falls apart because over the course of 48 minutes, the cream rises to the top, blah, 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 blah. But and there's not that much surprising about this, right? The Suns are the better team. They were the better team before the series started. They're going to be a better team after the series started. But I just have to reflect on the buy point for the Suns, right? And when we're talking all the way through the regular season about futures and we're going up and down the East and the West and all that sort of thing, and you go, okay, like the Suns are this price and they're that much better than everybody else. Like, you just have to understand there's always going to be a buy point during the playoffs. And we got all wrapped up in the Warriors because they took a 3-0 lead against the Nuggets, which, I mean, talk about your one-trick ponies. And then they went and they, won a game at Memphis in game 1, which is something the Timberwolves did as well. We got all wrapped up in the Warriors and we kind of forgot about the Suns. And you and I talked about on Monday before this series started, this was a plus 350 to win the title situation. 3 days later, they're down to plus 200, right? So we hopped in on that buy point. We grabbed our plus 350 because we realized, by the way, that Pelicans team's pretty good, right? The CJ McCollum version of that Pelicans team with all of those, rookie pieces, et cetera, that team's pretty good. And so we shouldn't be down. We somehow downgraded the Suns for playing a really good Pelicans team that was allowed to improve throughout the season. We talked about this during the NCAAs. And and by the way, Devin Booker goes out in game 2 and you just go, okay, we're going to downgrade the Suns for winning that series 4-2, and we're going to upgrade the Warriors for beating Jokic and a bunch of randos essentially. And so I just look at it and I go, like, this is why you wait, because you can always find a better futures number during the playoffs, because people get wrapped up in the sort of back and forth nature of the schedule and being like, oh, okay, like, yeah, the Warriors are the favorites to win the title because they had like a head start. Right. They won the first 3 games of the playoffs. Like, no one's ever going to remember that 3-game stretch for either team. And so, again, less to do with the Mavericks and the Suns. I think the point is, like, we see now how much better the Suns are than virtually everyone else in the West. It'll be interesting to see what happens in this next series against either Memphis or Golden State, because I'm not even ready to rule out Memphis at this point, especially with the whole Gary Payton, the second situation happening. So I'm just happy to have our plus 50 on the championship. We hopped in at the right time, in my opinion. Now, listen, maybe something crazy happens, whether it's this round or the next round. Maybe they don't even make the finals, but either way, I think at plus 350, we've made ourselves a good bet.
Yeah, just keep rolling it out. I'm going to advise to just keep rolling it out on the Suns. The Suns, and I just spent all that time dissing Luka, and you're right. It is the opportunity to big up the Suns because they're just a really, really good team. And I thought the telltale side was J Kidd saying, like, yeah, this series is going to be a little bit different because they don't have he actually named names of who they Rudy Gobert and Hassan Whiteside.
Yeah,
they got guys that can
it's
put
amazing.
the ball in the bucket. It's like, what's happening here, right? But all that to say, the Suns are really good. The Mavs, Luka's all right, but we've seen this time and time again from Luka. Get in shape and maybe you can make it through the playoff run at some point. I don't know.